Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Spouse is hiding conversation with a very close friend. My wife and I have been married for 10 plus years in the US. 2 kids, young less than 7. We have been having a good marriage overall so far. Usual ups and downs. We stay in the state where the wife has spent almost all her life. She developed very close friendships during her college days. Of those friends, my wife is very close to 3 of them. Let's call them R, F, H, M, and X. M, X and R are brother and sister. H and R are husband and wife. Now, during college time the wife had some short-term relationship with X and that got over, or not, before graduation. X moved out of the US 10 years back. HR used to live very close by in the same state. We used to hang out every weekend and used to have the best of times. H and R decided to move out of the US to help X with business about 5 to 6 years back. Wife has been a very close friend of ours since H and R moved out of the US. Wife has not made any such close friends after they left, which has reflected on her life in many ways. Keeping in short, in the past 6 months all R, H and X decided to move back to the US. RH has 2 kids, similar age to ours, and X is now married to J and has 2 kids too, similar age to ours. So, as soon as the news came, my wife has become genuinely happy about her friends returning. They are doing gradual moves where H and X are moving here first, find/set up a place to live and then moms move with kids. So, X came to the US about 2 months back. Came to see us and we offered him to stay for few days until he finds a place or decides which stay they want to settle down. 3 weeks back H came down and they, HR and XJ decided to stay in a different state, since H already found a job there. Last week we requested both H and X to come join us for the 4 to 5 days at our home. We could spend time together and relive some old fun times. H and X joined us. During this time around, I felt very strong vibes going on between X and my wife. Leading up to the time H and X arrives, my wife shopped around, got hair done, etc. I was not suspecting anything. But, last Friday morning I walked into the room where X was and noticed my wife was giving him a hug, while X was in bed. X was sitting on the bed with a laptop and was trying to take an online class. As soon as I walked in, they were surprised and X said, "Can you please check my temp, am I feeling feverish?" And my wife played along to check. This incident threw all red flags at me. I did not talk about this incident with my wife right away. However, it was bothering me. Between Friday and Saturday none of them, wife or X, came up to me to explain the situation. However, both acted very alert. H and X left on Sunday morning to drive up to the state they are settling down. Sunday afternoon I confronted my wife about the incident. She mentions that she was just giving a friendly hug to X. I asked, why in bed? To which she accepted that maybe in bed it was wrong and it leads me to think whatever I'm thinking. I also told her that I felt very strong vibes between you and X and at times I felt that I was not needed around at certain times during the stay. Wife denies there is nothing going on. I tell my wife, the only thing I can do is accept her work that nothing is going on at this point. H and X reached their destination state by Sunday evening. Sunday evening I confronted my wife again that she is still in constant contact with X. Wife denies. I can see messages going back and forth and my wife keeps deleting them. Wife claims that the confrontation between me and her is only between us. But, all has been communicated to X. To see how to deal with the situation. Monday, I confront my wife again, saying, I strongly feel I'm being lied to. Wife denies and keeps standing there is nothing. I again ask, if they both are in touch in any shape or form. Wife mentions that X calls to inform something and that is about it. But, in the morning back and forth messages are going on and getting deleted. Wife is clearly hiding contact and discussion with ex, not sure what else might be in this can of worms. Any support, thoughts, suggestions on how to navigate further? I plan to give the last and final chance tomorrow to come out clean about back and forth messaging and being in touch. P.S. All confrontations include lots of tears. Update 1. So, I was able to get insights into some of the deleted stuff. Not all. But, that some show me, that ex is constantly guiding wife to hold a stand that nothing happened. Ask her to keep repeating, give more attention to me, not talk to him too much, etc. Keep reassuring that things will settle down in time. And we, ex and wife, will make it right. I was also able to confirm that my wife tried calling ex twice, but at the time he was not available. Ex calls back after a few hours and they have about 3 minutes convo. Talking about what all my wife has tried telling me and I'm not getting fully convinced. My wife also asks ex to check with someone if deleted messages can be retrieved, etc. At this point I'm certain that hiding is for a bigger reason. Not certain about physicality. But, emotional is certain. Also, the web of lies is never small. If there is so much effort being put into hiding something, not sure what the box of chocolate contains. Now, I have to figure out what I do. I have been a nice guy all my life. That NG tendency kicks in. There are 2 key points. Kids, too young currently. Wife, as I have known her for 10 years, her existing medical conditions will explode leading to further mental and physical distress, all of this while she will be trying to deal with everything all alone. Ex will emotionally support, maybe, but ex will not give up family for my wife, I'm certain about that, but there was a boundary that was crossed consciously. I can't put these 2 plus 2 together. Update 2. Lots of roller coasters today. But, towards the end of this it gets so ridiculous that I started to laugh and feel liberated from my NG tendencies, of making every effort to keep this relationship. As mentioned earlier, I have access to messages being exchanged, they keep deleting the messages, so not able to see/capture all of them. During the day calls and messages goes back and forth, and from one of the messages it seems ex is trying to convince wife to not keep in touch to save the marriage. Wife clearly responds with she can't let go of both. Wife mentions that she cannot just shut down her feelings for ex. At some point the wife puts blame on ex too, twice. 1, if ex did not put them together in the past, during college days, they would not have been in this situation. 2, later in the evening, again tells ex, he should not have come to US and gone to some other country to settle and this would not have been the situation. Lots of back and forth, not sure I have access to calls. Ex keeps convincing wife to show me love, affection and attention and not keep in contact with him. Regardless, here is the juicy part and most liberating for me. Following what ex is guiding the wife to do, wife's way of talking changes and she tries to show affection. At a point in the late afternoon before I wrap up work, COVID, work from home, while I'm working my wife wraps her arms around me and does some lovey-dovey talk. I was engrossed in the work email I was typing, but forgot to completely hide their messages I was monitoring. After a minute or 2, wife questions, why are my messages showing on your screen? I adjusted and gave her control of my laptop to assure her that there is nothing. She questions and I tell her there is nothing as well as show her everything on the laptop that is open, nothing. I needed to step out right after for kids activity and pick up dinner. Messages and maybe calls happen between wife and ex, while I'm gone. Wife leaves only messages that show that they are talking about me having misunderstanding about them. As soon as I return, wife asks again about her messages on my laptop, I tell her yes those were her messages. Wife asks why, I say because you are clearly hiding what is going on. Wife takes this in, digests this a bit, while kids are hungry we all sit down to have dinner. Wife still processing. Some tears. Wife asks, so what did you find? I say you have been deleting messages, so I don't know. Now, my wife digests this too. Finishes dinner quickly and starts back and forth messages. I do not have a view, but I am sure they messaged late in the night and have deleted and kept only what I need to see. Also, wife has started taking an angry stand towards me, for me invading her privacy. Wife has been using anger forever to gain control, in each and every situation. This whole episode has actually helped me make a firm decision that it's only kids and me now. It is so amazing to notice that ex and wife, in such situations just follow a script and the fogged vision blocks so much for them to see. P.S. I will sure start navigating this via r/surviving infidelity as recommended. I appreciate everyone's time to read this and show me direction and advice. Support in such times is so much necessary, and in situations like this, very difficult to find such support with close family members or close friends. Spouses should not hug ex-boyfriends on a bed when no one is home. Weird AF or more likely suspicious AF. Honest people don't delete conversations. She is definitely hiding something. So you can go confront her or set her up. It looks like she can't be honest, so you need to figure out what is going on. There are so many red flags with this situation, I can't begin to unpack. What tips the scales is she deletes the texts to hide that she still is in contact with him while lying to your face. Happily married people don't act this way. So if she has an iPhone, go into the subreddit Surviving Infidelity and many people post you can bring up deleted messages on an old iPhone, iPad or cloud. I am not tech savvy. Also you can check your phone bill to see how often they text. That subreddit can tell you all types of ways to catch a cheater. Put a nanny cam in the bedrooms, voice activated recorders for the car and some type of app that allows you to hack her phone. Again, I don't know how it works, but the people in that subreddit know how and will send you information on how to do most of this. Personally, I would hire a buy. They can find everything out much quicker than doing it yourself. Once you get the information, then you can decide what you want to do. But whether there is actual cheating physically would be irrelevant to me to some degree. The hiding of the phone and deleting texts is a boundary that is not acceptable for a spouse to cross. This alone would make me request couples therapy, especially since kids are involved. If you don't want to do any of the above, check her phone while she is sleeping. I hate the whole, check the phone while they are sleeping. I should not have to check a damn phone. But unfortunately there are too many red flags. I could be making a mountain out of a molehill, but I don't think so, and your spidey senses don't either. I would do all of this on the day L. Because if it goes south, you want to know your legal position before you confront her. This behavior affects not only you but your kids. What if one of the kids had seen that crap? If she is cheating emotionally or physically or both, this would be a deal breaker for me. The lies and cheating are too much baggage to work through. Good luck, Hop. Thanks for your response. Just posted update 1, where I was able to get access to some messages, not all. Thanks a lot for proper direction. What is day L? It sounds like you have some serious decisions to make. Day L means down low. Don't tell anyone, just investigate till you get all of the facts. Then you talk to a lawyer and see what legal options you have. If you find out it is physical, then STD testing is a must. Yes, you have to worry about it. X is a cheater, so this may not be his first rodeo. The next step is what is best for your kids and you. Do you have support like family nearby? If in US, don't you leave the house. A lawyer in your state can best lay out a plan if you go that route. I think therapy is a must for you. The betrayal you feel is heart-wrenching. The fact that they are conspiring to lie to you sickens me. I don't know if this betrayal is something you can come back from. A counselor who deals with infidelity is a great choice. You may need to see a few before you have a good fit. Unfortunately, whatever you decide to do, you will never look at your spouse the same. The innate joy you felt that this was your special someone is killed. Even after reconciliation, it has not returned. You will never fully trust them again. They were not the person you thought they were. Now they are a liar and a cheat. So your marriage as you knew it is over. You have to figure out if the new marriage is something you can live with. She does not sound remorseful. But when you do confront her, she will be alligator tears. Even 5 years later you will remember all of the horrible things she has said and done. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. She will only be sad when she gets caught. I don't think she will even stop then. Only when X cuts her off will she stop. Please put your kids and yourself first. Don't set yourself on fire to keep your wife warm. She did this, not you. Yes, be concerned about her mental health, but not at the expense of yours. She chose this path. She is in the wrong. No amount of her gaslighting is going to change that fact. She is cheating and lying, not you. Please check out the Surviving Infidelity subreddit. It has a wealth of information that will be useful. Good luck and many blessings. Thanks a lot for your response. It is very helpful. I posted update 2. And as you can see from my update, as I started learning the meaning of day L, my day L already blew away due to a very minute carelessness on my end. Well, this is first time for me too, and I am learning. Your advice has come in very helpful. Few words you have mentioned have been very helpful today. Alligator tears, sad and angry, based on update 2, whenever things came up to blame, anger tone sets in. Sad, when I give out tough decisions. Blunt and staying on point, repeating tough decisions, alligator tears. Your words have been very helpful for me to stay strong. Which I have never been so far. Now, more will come as my wife plans to start engaging wider parties at the table to make me understand that it is just misunderstanding and nothing else. I have already communicated to my wife that kids and myself is my focus. How it manifests in life, I still need to figure it out. I had to because she pulled me out of work and asked me a very targeted question, and I will not be lying to her anymore. Even in today's conversation, she called me out on reading her messages, and I actually showed her how I was doing. How to stop it. And in future what she should be careful of, and how she can find out if someone is reading her messages or not. Even in today's conversation, when I brought up that it's kids and me only, my wife still mentioned that we cannot live without friends, etc., and tried to justify that her staying in touch will be justified. On confronting her about she is deleting her messages, she agreed she deletes some stuff, after bringing up 3 times, but it's all silly FWDs and stuff. On further pushing her, she mentioned one more category she deletes, and which is okay by me. But, even after me saying our relationship is over, she did not bring up the key ones that she is deleting. I told her, if I want and if you give me your phone, I will try to find what you deleted. Alligator tears. I know how to cut off X completely. I have enough to do that. But, I will pursue that only if I want to keep my relationship. At this point, I just want to focus on kids and me. I will start posting further updates in other subreddit and will put the link in the main post. Again, your posts have been very strong to keep me strong through this. Many thanks. I never knew after day L is out, things will escalate so soon. I was not prepared. But, I am certain that now I'm checked out. Bottom line is, she is not able to let a 12-year-old fling die. So, if after all these years she is not able to, I'm sure she will not be able to in future, and I will not be able to live with this knowledge anyways. It's definitely not a good sign that she is deleting conversations. Because even if they are innocent, there isn't any way to really show that. I think she will definitely keep up with the story that nothing is going on. And her tears kidding show she is trying to manipulate you. Thanks for your response. I just posted update 1. Spouse hiding conversations after multiple confrontations, need support as it's me and kids only. Need support. My original thread was posted in RA sub, with 2 updates. Since this is a more suited sub, I was advised to post it here. TLDR. Wife had a relationship with ex during college time. Broke up. Ex moved countries. Wife and I have been married for 10+ years. But my wife's affection for ex never vanished. Ex moved back recently to the US. We are trying to help them get started in life. Ex has a family and 2 kids, but the family has not moved yet. Friday morning, I walked up to X's room and found my wife was giving a hug to X, while X was working with a laptop on lap. As soon as I enter the room, taken by surprise, X mentions, "I'm feeling hot, can you plaza check if I have a fever?" Wife plays along. Both sense that my red flags have gone off. But, none of them comes out clean. On my asking my wife, she mentions it was a friendly hug. I start monitoring messages and find emotional checks out. Most probably more is there, but I don't have access to all messages. And starts our confrontations, tears, and more tears, and lots of them. 2 updates in the above post capture all this drama. Update 3, today's update. My DL was blown off yesterday and I came clean mentioning what I was looking at. Update 2 covers all of what happened till yesterday. Yesterday, I think after I went to bed, my wife had back and forth messages with X and she walked out of the bedroom saying our marriage is done anyways. Comes back after CP hours and sleeps in the same bed as me. I can feel she is having a sleepless night and the same here. Today, I think in the morning she had a bit of talk with X and X is trying to help her with how to navigate this and stay on nothing happened. And what she could do, like show me more affection, show me more love, come close to me etc, saying men like attention and whatnot, and she should keep saying that it's all in my head. So, my wife comes to me while I'm working and just hugs me, cries a lot and says sorry for anything that I have in mind and nothing happened. All this while she has never even brought up once, that she will give up talking to or relationship with X. Kids are around too, so we find time and a place to talk. In today's talk, wife confronts me about reading her messages and me lying to her. I let her know that if I do not know the truth, I will try to find it. She called me out on reading her messages and I actually showed her how I was doing. How to stop it. And in future what she should be careful of, and how she can find out if someone is reading her messages or not. Anyways, my DL is blown and I'm not reading any more of her messages. I know enough from the past 2 to 3 days and our confrontations, that she is protecting her emotional checkout with X like a dragon. I have a very strong suspicion that physical checkout has also happened. If not full deed, definitely cuddling, hugging, etc. I have informed her that kids and myself is my priority. And how all that works out, I still need to figure out. Lots of tears, sad and angry outbursts, etc. When I brought up that it's kids and me only, wife still mentioned that we cannot live without friends, etc. and tried to justify that her staying in touch with X will be justified. On confronting her about she is deleting her messages, she agrees she deletes some stuff, after bringing up 3 times, but it's all silly FWDs and stuff. On further pushing her, she mentioned one more category she deletes and which is okay by me. But, even after me saying our relationship is over, she did not bring up the key ones that she is deleting. I told her, if I want and if you give me your phone, I will try to find what you deleted. Alligator tears. After my first confrontation, she actually asked X, "Will you still keep in contact or not?" to which X replies, "Absolutely. Any help and support is appreciated. For now I need to stay strong on my ground that it's kids and me only. I don't know how I'm going to navigate this, any help / guidance / advice is appreciated. What would kids and me only mean? Kids being so young, living separate would shatter them. I also need to keep my NG tendencies in check, because NG in me is going to get me on soft side and forget / forgive all this and do a new start. I just don't want to do that. What limited time and energy I have left, I want to put those towards kids and myself." Edit, update posted. Divorce, tell the other guy's wife so they don't up and leave their home to cheat. I am also pretty sure you can kick X out of the house. Legally he can't, if they bought the house after marriage. She'll come back with a cop in tow. U/Throra211920, here are your surveillance methods. Go through her phone, that's probably the motherlode. Get hard proof before you make a move, or else she'll gaslight, minimize, delete the evidence and spin a tale portraying you as a jealous, unstable, delusional abuser. Filing for divorce is the first step whether you want to divorce or reconcile. You need to punch her in the liver, figuratively, to get her out of the affair fog. The element of surprise you have on your side is your most valuable ally. Don't tip her off that you're filing. As long as she doesn't know, you can get your ducks lined up safely and securely. She's a complete wild card at this moment. You don't know how the situation will escalate if she knows you filed. Read the following comments. The first one is your comprehensive divorce plan of action, the second one is your recovery list, and the third one is your reconciliation list. Your wife is never going to change her actions as long as you don't give consequences to her actions. The easiest way to get her out of the affair fog is to serve divorce papers. Divorce can be stopped anytime before final decree. Don't do the pick-me dance, she will never respect you and thus will never stop the affair. You have to be willing to lose your marriage to save it, and sometimes you might not even want to. She's your rebellious unruly child and you're her doting but wishy-washy dad. You need to ground her. Immediate, hard consequences are the only way you'll be able to get your wife in line. Thanks a lot for this. This is amazing work. I would keep this handy. At this point, I have stopped all monitoring. And I have told her to. Because, I have made the decision and I'm just going to keep repeating that. Lot of points you make are very helpful. Thanks a lot. I will need to keep coming back to this post over and over and over. Since yesterday she has started behaving as a nice and affectionate person. Which has been waking up my energy and making me mellow down. I need to stay strong. For sure, brother. All I hope is that I can help you navigate this shitstorm in an easier manner. And yeah, if you've made the decision then don't monitor at all. It's just pain shopping. It'll just mess your head up. It won't affect your decision to divorce. There's an argument for monitoring to stay one step ahead in terms of legal steps she has been taking, but it honestly isn't worth the mind duck. Yeah, that's how cheaters act, TBH. Read these articles once. They'll enlighten you, I'm sure. For your NG tendencies, I'd recommend 2 books, No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover, and When I Say No I Feel Guilty by Manuel Smith. Keep checking in, man. This sub will help you when you feel like you're wavering. It'll keep you on your path towards escape from this infidelity. Take care, and keep the strength. Message me whenever you'd want, my DMs are always open, even if you want to ask questions or just vent, flexed bicep, call me. Thanks for further recommendations. I will read them. I already have an MMNG. I need to check out Mr. Smith's book. Will sure do, thanks a lot for being there for support. I also feel my wife currently needs proper support too and she's not getting it. No, this is not my NG talking, but, really, she is in need of correct guidance to come out of the fog. Unfortunately you have been placed in the perpetrator role in the Cartman drama triangle. Look it up. She has placed herself in the victim role and AP in the rescuer role. Any words out of your mouth will be invalidated simply because it's you saying them. You can't nice her out of the fog. She'll lose respect for you, since she'll think you won't leave her even if she cheats or keeps cheating. You have to show her you're willing to live life without her. If this is to be a reconciliation, you need her to chase you. Chasing her will get you nothing. Tell her to get icy for her issues. Maybe she'll listen, maybe not. She'll definitely listen the day she gets served with D papers. That's your time period for testing her reconciliation worthiness. If she's willing to come completely clean, work on herself and you on yourself, you could theoretically reconcile. I wouldn't suggest it though. It's an exercise in futility. I've heard of stats like 15% making it past 5 years. X left on Sunday. I started confrontations only after X left. I have enough if I want to throw X's life in tipsy. But, first I'm going to sort mine out. I don't want to play shattering X's life card just yet. I think I might just need it as my wife tries to save this marriage. She has not started bringing in close friends and family to convince me. But, I know she will at some point. Saying our marriage is done anyways. That sentence just killed me. She already left you in her mind and only came back because X told her to. Not because she wanted to come back, not because she wanted to stay with you, she only did it because X told her to. It is time that you show her that the Mr. Nice Guy times are over and that you don't allow anyone to treat you like second best. Tell her that after she told you that the marriage is done anyway, that you don't see how she could come back from that. Her desire to stay in close contact with X only shows further how much she is done with this marriage, and that you know that if X tells her to end the marriage or to come over and drop her clothes, that she would do that in a heartbeat. That is not the kind of marriage you want, so you will meet with a lawyer. Then make an appointment with a lawyer and find out what a divorce would look like for you. Maybe that will show her that you don't allow anyone to treat you that way. To further show her how much trust you lost in her, you should also tell her that you will go to a doctor and get tested for STDs because you think that they also had sex. Then do exactly that, meet with a lawyer and go to a doctor. Sleep in a separate bedroom and let her react to what you do. If she reacts with anger, then meet that with indifference and tell her that her reaction shows how much she cares for X, how little she cares about you, and how right you are by doing what you are doing. You are worth so much more than to be treated this way. You are spot on. It's only now she realizes what happens if I find out. Now, officially she cannot be with 10 and 1 told her kids and me. So, now what about family, social circles, parents, etc. etc. Thoughts are coming to her mind. Still, fighting to not give up friendship. Yes, I already told her that I will not be treated like an extra person or a doormat. And then I have to keep repeating my decision in blunt way. But a lot of tears, and being nice to me, showing affection, care, etc. etc. is happening. As I said in one of my previous comments, I need to stay strong. Sometimes I mellow down. Frown. This. If she reacts with anger, then meet that with indifference and tell her that her reaction shows how much she cares for X, how little she cares about you, and how right you are by doing what you are doing. I need to keep implementing this over and over. But a lot of tears, and being nice to me, showing affection, care, etc. etc. is happening. When she does that, then always remember that she only does that because X told her to do that and not because she actually wants to do that with you. Like I wrote earlier, if X would tell her to kick you in the balls, then you would read this message kneeling on the floor. She isn't doing that to win you back, she is doing that to please X. Indifference should be your only way forward. Next time when she comes to you, say in the most neutral tone, "Has X told you again to do that?" You are actually spot on. She is doing exactly what X is asking her to do. And then they both go back and forth with what response I give. Lol. These PPF follow a script. Thanks for to the point of advice, I will do exactly that. I have an idea for you. Send all these messages to X's wife. See if his wife is interested in all this hush hush, I can't get over you, lie to your husband back and forth bullshit. They think they can play you, but they won't know what happens when you change the rules. Yup. I need to keep that card with me to use at the correct time. At least before my DL blew up, I was able to harvest some. Now, I can focus on what needs to be done rather than on constant monitoring. Play that card now, they're in the fog and the fallout will totally implode their bubble, they'll never expect it and it'll be most effective. Kick her out and go North Carolina. Your kids can't be in a broken home like this, you need to divorce her, start co-parenting with her. I have never been acquainted with anyone with a similar situation. So, I just don't know how staying separate and co-parenting affects children. I sure need to start learning a lot on this topic. You have no chance of salvaging your marriage unless she agrees to never contact X ever again. She's proven to lie and delete messages to hide the truth from you. You need to stand firm that she can have friends, but she overstepped the boundaries with this friend, so she needs to choose him or you. Anything less than that, she'll keep an inappropriate connection with him, and sneak off for sex occasionally when they think the coast is clear. No contact with ex or no marriage. It's that simple. No contact with ex is a workable idea. But this did not stop even after 12 years. And when ex was coming to stay with us to rebuild life, wife asked me if I'm worried. I asked her if I should be worried. She said no. And I know, for the past 10 she has had very limited contact, most because ex was out of the country. This is going nowhere fast. You keep having the same argument over and over. She has plenty of females she could be using for emotional support, but instead is choosing an emotional affair with ex. Implement the 180 at this point, as you're just wasting time here. All she will do is get better at hiding things. Her asking for support from the very person that hurts you is quite telling of her character. My advice is to leave for a couple weeks. Take a break from her. Implement the 180 and start planning a separation. Because she is unwilling to change. You deserve better. I agree with your advice. I need to start seeing my life with separation lens and start working on it. Damn, this is lot of work. 1. Lawyer up, today. I need to find a good one very fast. I will try to follow all resources provided. Dude, I think you overestimate how much the kids will care. Get a divorce. This is awful. I'm starting to realize what you are saying. Update, spouse hiding conversations update. I have not written up an update in a while. Here it is. My previous post is here. Spouse hiding conversations after multiple confrontations, need support as it's me and kids only. Previous posts and updates were until May 6th. Today is June 15th, I will provide all that happened between May 6th and June 15th. First week of May. Friday night, before Mother's Day, my wife was determined to not go to sleep until she talked me out of all this. At 1 a.m. while I was sleeping in another room, she tried to come to me and give me tight hugs and whatnot while I was sleeping. I moved away and mentioned to let me sleep. She wanted to talk, so I sat up and we talked for about 1 to 2 hours. Where she explained how long and close herself and ex have been. Not their relationship as BF/GF, but how ex has helped her through thick and thin during her earlier years, when they were not even in a relationship. And so because of all this, these are such an important set of friends for her, and she cannot give them up. After our talk I told her to go to sleep in her room and I slept in another room. Saturday morning's wife behaved quite abnormally. She was overexcited to come help me in our community garden. She never likes me going there and working on our seasonal crop. But today, she wanted to come help me in the greenhouse, etc., so I took her help. Smile. Well, whatever she planted, about 40 plus seeds, none of them grew to a seedling. I think they also have feelings and noticed that the intentions were not pure at all. We did a few other errands that I had to finish and I took her to a park nearby to have a talk. I told her that I can understand what these friends mean to you, but our life is here, our kids are here, our 200% focus should be on our family and our kids. And no one can come in between that. I also quoted one of the messages that was going on between her and ex, asked her, how am I to process this? She told me, since they are so seasoned friends, they keep passing on silly messages between each other and there is nothing beyond that. All this time I was noticing her body language, and it was telling me that all this was a complete lie. Her hands were constantly shaky when she was spitting out all this. Next day was Mother's Day and I at least wanted kids to have their mother back. I left it at that point, telling her that I will talk to ex about all this too and I don't want her to be goofing around with ex. I know this was half-assed recon. Second week of May. I behaved all normal. Started finding some lawyers and consulted. As I was normal, things at home were calm and all was progressing as normal. All this week, my wife was trying to get physically intimate with me, but I was not fully into it. By the end of this week, one of the evenings after the kids went to sleep, my wife and I were watching TV. After about an hour our daughter woke up and I asked my wife to go put her back to sleep, typically I would run. She went. As soon as she went, I checked her phone to just check what was going on, as I lost access to her WhatsApp. Lo and behold, Snapchat. Wife was sending her pic with an open shirt to X. As I noticed my wife was on her way back, I put the phone down as it was when she left. So, rest of the night, I tried to reread Follin's link and scan through this forum to see how I get access to whatever is going on with a new beast in town, Snapchat. Rest of May. I found everything that was going on S-Chat. After getting all that is going on behind my back on Snapchat, I wanted to capture something live. I was able to capture 3 to 4 of their episodes where they are having an intimate time. By the end of May, I shared all of this with 2 of my closest friends. My wife is close to one of my friends too. June. I confronted her with a few difficult questions this month, like, after Mother's Day, have you been in touch with X outside of my knowledge? Have you been intimate with him even once, or even over the phone or anything? Did you have sex with him? Etc. I got no as in answer to all questions. I need to plan out the final confrontation a bit, which I'm working on. In the meantime I'm also working with a lawyer. When I confront my wife for this final time, she is going to be cornered and will not have anyone to go to. I'm quite concerned about this. I wish that this does not make her do harm to herself or do something drastic. She has a heart condition and went through an open heart surgery 2 years back. When I confronted her during the first week of May, it took a few days for her to physically recover. And when I was pressing too hard, she mentioned more than once that there won't be any point to live anymore. I plan to tell her sisters a day prior to confrontation, so that they can be available for her support. She has no other friends she can reach out to. X, H and R are her closest friends and I plan to let H and R know. I also plan to let J know. One other reason I have been waiting on final confrontation is kids' school. Current week is their last week in school and given how the year has been with COVID, I wanted at least the tail end of the school year to end with a bit of normalcy. Maybe I should have already confronted all of this in May/early June and got done with all this drama. But, I'm not perfect in any sense and this time has given me more clarity and more strength to understand and stand behind where my focus should be. Thanks for reading and all your support. Edit 1. The post was locked due to some violations. I have removed the violating contents. Thanks a lot for the overwhelming response from all. I will respond throughout the day. Edit 2. Few points. On any topic from the beginning, her family, sisters and parents, sides with me 99% of the time. Once I reveal all this, they will side with me on this too. This is the reason I say, wife will be cornered and will have no one to go to. Once all of this started, I have changed my diet completely. Eating healthy and losing extra weight. From 172 pounds, today morning read was 155.6 pounds. I will stay between 151 and 155. I have stopped alcohol. Have been exercising every day. My BP was showing very high, so have seen doc and taking appropriate meds. I want to share with my side of the family as well. At the least my brother and my brother's wife. I will do it once the papers are served. I agree with the approach of just serving the papers, as the last confrontation is not going to do any good anyways. I suggest that you let the confrontation be her receiving the papers with the evidence. Arrange it so that you are out of town with the kids so that you can tell them in a calm manner. Once you have received the notification that she was served, call her family to fetch her. However romantic the idea is, a final confrontation, the reality is that you will feel less satisfaction than expected, because you are not a person who is comfortable with inflicting that kind of pain. You already worry about her having health issues. Edit, thanks for the award, Internet Stranger. We work together to make others step into a better life. Also, she'll pull out the cheater's handbook with a butt-ton of excuses. It didn't mean anything. You're the one I love. I'll change. We can do couples therapy. Blah blah blah. Plus I wouldn't put it past her to say that there is no point in living if you leave BS to try to emotionally manipulate up. I completely agree with this advice. Thanks for your note. Yup, lot of plays from Cheater's Handbook are already happening. Because she wants to get close to me and I'm keeping her away. Gaslighting, tears, drama, all inclusive. Yikes. I'm glad you're staying strong and not falling for the BS. You and your kids deserve so much better. Good luck with everything. Yes, I'm working to plan this better. Most probably I will get her served at her sister's place. Smile. This sure is a great move. I need to plan it. I agree on the idea of final confrontation and minimal gain from it. I'm already tired and also want to get over it. Once papers are on table, another phase of some of her family and herself convincing me to not divorce/separate, and even if I do, still stay in the same house for kids, for social aspects etc. will start. Navigating those conversations will be more difficult than confrontations. But, this time I have had in May and June, has helped me strengthen my thoughts and myself to deal with all that is about to come. Thanks a lot for your support. Just for note, I'm Indian and social stigma is quite high on stuff like this in our community. I plan to tell her sisters a day prior to confrontation. Bad idea. You do know her sister is going to give her a heads up, right? What does your lawyer say? Confront or simply serve her with papers? I'm betting the latter. You can be right, or you can win. Your kids will rebound. Send them to your parents' house for the weekend. Confronting her serves no purpose. You already know more than you need to know. Do not go pain shopping. She has lied, multiple times, to your face. You will, in all likelihood, never get the complete truth. You're still trying to figure out why, where, when, etc., when you should be focusing on getting her out of the house, minimizing the financial damage, and how to co-parent. FYI, when you do let her know, however you chose to do so, I recommend following your lawyer's advice to the letter. Understand she will do anything and say anything to remain undivorced. Crying, yelling, gaslighting, trickle, truth, claiming it is all a mistake, she didn't know what she was doing, speaking in tongues, offering intimacy, et al. Good luck, hop. Yes, telling the sisters a day before is a very bad idea. You tell them after you confront her so that they can help her if they need to. And if she was so worried about her health she wouldn't be messing around. You need to stop taking the role of caregiver and understand that this person is actively manipulating you in a very negative way. I understand your need to gather information and gather your thoughts to make your plan, but you need to stop playing the role that you've been playing, which is I'll take care of everything. She's an adult. She can take care of her own health. That will no longer be your worry. Besides, it seems like she's more concerned with her pee than she is her heart. Thanks for your note. I agree with you that I need to stop the role of caregiver. I need to work hard on this. Sorry about that. Haha roll, da moment. Best of luck to you, and stay strong. Thanks for the direction. Yes, I know my sister will give her heads up. In fact, if I tell her sister, first she will get my wife's head out her ass and then both, two elder sisters, will support what I want to do. My wife knows this, and that is why I'm saying she from her own side will not have anyone she can reach out to. I know I should not be thinking about it this way. As you said, you can be right, or you can win. Yes, I want to win. Along with that, I want to make sure kids have their mom. I don't want her to get into a depression spiral and such. That is why I want to prepare her sisters to support her. I can do it right after the papers are served. Thanks. Yeah, don't tell her sisters. They will definitely give her a heads up. If you think your wife will need support, tell her sister literally an hour before you tell your wife and let her know she needs to be there when she finds out. Repeat, do not trust your in-laws. No matter what your wife did, they are on her side. Her sister probably already knows. Yes, I'm planning something similar. Her eldest sister and I chatted on a few topics in the past few weeks, and she has already got a hint that something big is going on between me and my wife. Eldest is the most sane one and has been through every worst downturn that life can offer. She is about 20 years older than me and my wife. Update 2, Spouse Hiding Conversations. Update. First of all, my sincere thanks to a lot of folks in this group. Lots of you provided advice, support and kept a constant check on me, while I was in and out of touch. My sincere apologies as well for not being able to provide a more frequent update with the situation, plus sometimes not even responding in a timely fashion to DMs. For making a late update, which also makes this update very long. Reference. My first post, Spouse Hiding Conversations After Multiple Confrontations, needs support as it's me and kids only. Update 1, Update, Spouse Hiding Conversations. Here is my update till mid-July. Final confrontation. Towards second week of June, WS reached out to one of my friends, who I have shared everything with. WS wanted my friend to talk to me and make me understand that there is nothing going on between her and X. My friend, D, came down to talk to us face to face. In our talks, WS confessed to following. They kissed on the day I caught WS giving a hug to X. Before the hug, they kissed. They kissed a couple other times in March when X was around. Initially denied anything else was going on. After I asked, "Why did you download Snapchat right after Mother's Day?" her response was to talk to her friends, and that she had a Snapchat account for a long time. After further probing and questioning, she still says 99% of talk on Snapchat with X was clean. But, there was a trace of flirting and physical messages. Confession number 1, 2 and 3 are all trickled truth. I let her know the same day, I cannot keep this relationship going anymore. I just don't believe in marriage, as a relationship, anymore. WS wants to keep the marriage and will do anything and everything to rebuild trust. She does not want to do anything with X and mentions that she did not know what she was doing and why she was doing. After I informed her sister, you will read about that further in this post, she told her sister that she thinks she was hypnotized and she did now know what she was doing. Next few days after, confronted X, AP, needed the plates of my car that I sold to him in my mailbox. Once I received them, I called X and the only thing he could say was sorry. He begged me to not let H or J know about this right now. X wanted to share the news his way. He also mentioned that he was never emotionally connected with her and emotional connection matters to him more than anything else. He would never contact my wife, etc., and requested, begged, me to not share any of this with H. I also suspended his phone line after I was done with confrontation. Yes, I helped him out with the phone line also. I let my WS know that I confronted X and all he could say was sorry. I also let her know how he brought in kids in this whole drama to convince me of their story they both wanted me to believe. She was shocked to hear that he swore on kids to convince me the first time they both tried to feed me a lie. After this event, WS wrote final goodbyes message to X and mentioned to him that they should not talk/connect ever again for rest of their life. But, she deleted some messages, which she completely ignored when she showed me what she has written and sent to X. Informed J about everything that transpired in past few months. A few days before her journey to the US, she was overwhelmed and tried to confirm with me if I was playing a prank. Recorded each and everything X said, during confrontation, and shared it with J, and H also warned J about changing all the passwords and not leaving anything open. By this time X was starting to think that I will start talking. J informed me that X has asked for her FB password and asked me to be on lookout if X tries to contact WS using J's FB ID. After about an hour, J sent me a screenshot where X ended up blocking me on J's FB account, just so that I do not reach out to her. J understood what that meant. By this time X was certain I would spill the beans and needed to build up a story. X reached out to WS asking what all she had confessed. WS responded, after letting me know that they have done their final goodbyes, that they connect on FB as Snapchat is out of the picture now. And on FB they exchanged messages in a fashion that shows that it was a small emotional outburst on both of their ends and they kissed and there was nothing else. But, who will believe them? Thank God that broken clogger was still working. I was almost going to remove it a few days before. Informed WS's eldest sister, I wanted to talk to her in person but could not wait any longer. So, I shared what was going on, what I found and what WS has confessed. Eldest sister is totally broken and asked me to keep an open mind, big heart and save impact on kids. She also mentioned that she would not want to even talk to WS for what she has done. And she did not end up talking to her at all until I made trip to their place and we had an opportunity to talk face to face. Once kids' school was over, during July 4th week I made a trip to her sister's place. Kids of course wanted to spend time with their cousins for a very long time, could not meet during the whole COVID time, and we had promised them a trip during summer. I also wanted to have a face-to-face conversation with her sisters. Both sisters want me to keep the WS and kids under the same roof, to minimize impact on kids for the time being, since they are too young. Both sisters cannot give me an answer on what time being is that 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, etc. They both side with me on understanding why I would not want to keep a relationship with WS, but, since kids are involved, we would still need to parent them and their request is to keep parenting while being under the same roof. I have informed them that 2 stable houses are better than 1 broken one for kids. Also, I will support WS to stand up on her feet as we work out separate living arrangements, to minimize impact on kids. Both sisters also mentioned to me that they are worried that their father will not survive the news of WS's doing. They are very concerned and requested me to not inform any other people in the family. I do not intend to inform anyone else, except my brother and his wife. I owe it to my family. So far I have not involved anyone from my family. Finally informed my brother and his wife. I informed my brother's wife first, after I spoke to WS's sisters. She heard me out and would want to sit face to face with me and WS to really understand the root cause of why WS behaved in the way she did. I spoke to my brother and told him each and everything I did to find out and what all happened with the timeline. He is shocked. His initial reaction was for me to give it a chance with proper reconciliation and absolutely using professional help in rebuilding self and relationship. Brother also wants to have in-person talks so he has to understand why would WS do this. My current struggles. I have still not filed for D. I should have done this as first step, but I have not. At the same time, I wholeheartedly believe that I don't want to invest any more in a relationship with WS. I hate hurting people. And I know the direction I want to go is going to. I also know that I don't have to feel that this is my doing, but I'm torn on this feeling. Most probably this is the thing that is keeping me from progressing on divorce paperwork. Impacts my kids. I definitely know that they will be looking for me and mom to be available whenever they want. How this separation will impact them mentally and their behaviors, is what fears me. Also points I highlight in number 3.3. Thinking about dropping kids to her or her dropping kids to me, makes me cringe. Impacts families, mostly WS's side of family. This already has started impacting eldest sister. She has been through a lot in her life. She already needs counseling on this. As I mentioned earlier, her parents will have a huge impact as well. I'm not worried or too bothered about this. Impacts WS, as all of her family supports me, WS is cornered and left alone. As I had set up some support for her from my friends, she is still reaching out to them on her struggles. This leads to multiple things. WS being depressed and struggle to do day to day, and this will directly impact kids day to day. I keep feeling that I would need to help her with her struggles. I know I don't need to, but I'm struggling on this. I think this is a tough one because, For the past 12 years I have always tried to be in front of everything that came our way. And now I have to change my habit while WS is still around and we are still living together day in and day out. I also don't think this will end soon, as we will be co-parenting and I would need to be in touch and communicate with her. WS had to file for unemployment starting 7/4. Maybe this will have a financial impact on me. But, I am not too worried about financial split or impact, read alimony. End of day, I think just as a normal human and a co-parent, I will still be doing a lot to keep it going for kids. Well, I still don't know if and how I can continue my relationship with WS. I'm really torn between I don't want to stay with WS and what it will entail on others! WS's position, she wants to keep the family together and is willing to do anything I ask for. After I have started blowing this up, her demeanor, attitude and way to doing things has changed. And slowly she has started accepting that she would need to be on her own. To her credit, she did mention this: she does now know why she did this while she never envisioned future with X or wanted to have future life with X. This tells me only one thing, that she wants to keep feet in both places. A lot to read and a bit of a wild post. Thanks a lot for reading, and I really appreciate all the support I get from this group. In between all of this, our 12-year anniversary passed and next week is my daughter's 5th birthday. Part of being an adult and a parent is making hard and unpopular decisions. First, you should have already served her with divorce papers. You admit this but don't like hurting people. Second, you think her sisters are on your side but they are really just trying to manipulate you to keep the family together, i.e. not divorce your wife, their sister. They are not on your side. They are telling you what you want to hear and you are falling for it. Just like their sister, your wife, they are telling you lies to keep you from divorce, and it looks like it has worked. Also, why do your brother and his wife need to know why your wife did this? Who gives a damn? She did it, she lied about it again and again and again and again and again. She is still lying about it. It went from we are just friends, to we hugged, to we kissed more than once, to whatever lie of the week she is telling you now. You saw their messages. She was going to leave you for this guy but X didn't want to leave his wife for your wife. You are the backup plan. Remember that. All that crap about her planting in the garden with you, trying to initiate sex with you all of a sudden, and doing all these other things she wouldn't normally do are just her love bombing you so you won't divorce her. You have brought in your brother and his wife, your wife's sisters, and generally made a huge mess of this. Your brother's wife doesn't need to know why she did it. That is pointless. She won't be honest with them either. Your wife's sisters don't need any input into the situation. In fact, they probably know the truth about what your wife and ex did sexually. You do not know. Adults who have strong emotional feelings like those in the messages between your wife and ex do not just kiss a few times. Those adults have sex. And you know it. That's why you don't want to stay with your wife. I have informed them that 2 stable houses are better than 1 broken one for kids. Exactly. You've finally stood up for your kids. Yes, this is about you, but it's also about your children. They will adapt to 2 separate homes and to co-parenting. It happens every day, and as long as you work out a good plan beforehand, the court and children's advocates can help with that, it will be fine. If you stay with your wife, she will continue to contact X, just as she swore she wouldn't, while you stand there, your resentment and anger growing each day. She has already set up FB to use for this purpose and likely has yet another hidden app to use to talk to X that you don't know about. Her next step will be a burner phone that you don't even know exists. If you stay with her, you will just resent her more and more each day for making you live this lie of a marriage. And your kids will pick up on this tension between you two and it will affect them. You've made this too complicated. You've brought in too many people who feel they have a right to have a say in your marriage. No, her sisters have no say, nor does your brother or his wife. They don't need to know why. Hell, she hasn't even told you why. She just keeps trickle-truthing and gaslighting you even after you've gotten confirmation from X. She had lied so much there is no way you can ever trust her. Have her served with divorce papers. Then you two can work out a co-parenting plan. Then file the papers. Stop bringing in all these outside people that all have an agenda. It will only leave you, and eventually your kids, miserable. Your wife is probably never going to tell you the truth, and it is clear beyond a doubt she loves X, or at least is deep in the affair fog. File the papers. You've said you don't want to remain married, you don't trust your wife. She has had an affair and clearly cares deeply for X, yet her story constantly changes. They had sex. She won't tell you, probably ever. Move on. I'm sorry to sound so harsh, but you are making this more complicated than it is. Only 17 states are no-fault states, so you have a pretty good chance of being in an at-fault state. Adultery should be easy to prove even if you can't prove sex occurred. Good luck and keep it simple. The kids will be fine if both parents love them and don't criticize each other in front of the kids. I agree with you, your marriage is broken and your wife betrayed you horribly. If X had wanted your wife, she would be divorcing you right now. So get going. P.S. You didn't mention anything else that happened between X and J after you told J what you knew and played her a recording of the confrontation with X. All you said was that J told you X asked for her FB password and used it to block you. Is X just trying to convince her you are a liar who made all this up despite your recording? All of this. You can't live your life for the benefit, comfort and convenience of other people. That way lies anger and resentment. The only people you need to consider in all of this are your kids, and you already know they'll be better off in two happy households rather than in a malignant one. You know what is the worst of all your doubts regarding the impact that your decision will have? Your wife never cared about that. She didn't care how her affair would impact the kids, the family or you. She didn't care. She just wanted her affair, and now it is up to you to make the tough decisions. Here is a thought for you regarding how to move forward. Your wife wishes right now that you would have never found out about her affair. Not because she regrets what she did, she only wishes that she could continue her affair. Because that is what she would be doing right now if you wouldn't have found out. It is exactly like you said, your kids shouldn't grow up in a broken home, and right now, your home is as broken as it can be. Trust, gone. Respect, gone. Love, gone. That is not a house your kids should grow up in. Take the first step, call a lawyer and make an appointment. Do what your wife never did. Care about the life of your kids, yourself and your family. Your wife made her decision a long time ago, accept it and move on. Bro, look at all post his WS is scared like hell, and after all his post I believe there is more to the story and she is hiding. What gets me is that the AP contacted the WS to find out exactly what was told to the BS. That leads me to believe that much more than kissing happened. Yes, that was to get their stories to line up so one didn't accidentally reveal more truth than the other. Yes, 100%. AP was taking it too lightly when WS was mentioning that I was seriously confronting her and did not stay in touch with her enough. AP got shock of life when he received the gifts I returned. Gifts that AP got for my kids. I put them in mail and sent it back to him, saying I did not want my kids to have gifts from him. That's when AP tried to get in touch with WS, to check what exactly she shared with me. I believe they spoke on phone and then they tried to create a trail of messages on FB. So that AP can use the trail of messages to weave story for AP's wife. So yeah, much more than 100% it's more than kissing. Don't stay together just for the children. They will know the home is toxic. They will do better if you two co-parent. Yup. I was 5 when my parents divorced. The toxicity that went on between them before the separation are some of my earliest memories. She will do anything to save the marriage. Except tell the full truth. By stalling the divorce, you are only perpetuating your family's stay in this hell. It's like ripping a band-aid, do it and then you can focus on rebuilding your lives and managing co-parenting. This prolonged stay in uncertainty and paralysis is bad for everyone, the kids especially. I love it when cheaters say they will do anything to save the relationship. That means they will do anything but tell the truth, out themselves, and do the hard work of becoming trustworthy again. So sorry you had to deal with this shit. You're taking it remarkably well, and she's shown she's remorseful that she got caught. Good luck. Thanks for your note. I feel the same way. She is now showing all this remorse, and maybe it's true remorse, only she knows, is only and only because now all this is out in open and I will not agree to keep this relationship. She has tried to use kids, her parents, social, family, etc. etc. Also, she has this big thing about not reaching out anyone for help, so yeah, she has reached out to no one, and even if I ask her to find a counselor and go for IC, she denies that too. She would gaslight saying, she had psychology as minor and she knows shit. Well, now I tell her, so you are using all that knowledge to manipulate me and my decision, is it? And it stops. Smile. Hi, I've been following your story since the beginning and I just had a few questions. When you did the confrontation with your friend and your wife, the last one, did you pull out all the Snapchat conversations in the evidence that they had been sexting? I believe you said there was some sexy stuff going on over Snapchat. Did you ever pull this evidence out and directly confront your wife with the fact that she was lying about the conversations being innocent? It always seemed to me reading your story like you had all this evidence, but you never really strongly confronted your wife when you did this conversation with your friend. Did you finally make her look you in the eye and tell her that you knew what she was doing? And I don't know why you were so soft on X. You had all this evidence of him talking to your wife. Why didn't you confront him right to his face when you talked to him and say, hey, I know you've been talking to my wife. I know that you were doing things you shouldn't have been doing on Snapchat and I'm going to tell your wife. Why did you softly confront him to me and you were helping him with his phone? Come on, man, you know for months this guy was messing with your wife and you were still helping him. Do you believe that they actually had sex, or do you believe the story that it was just kissing? Were they alone enough that they could have snuck off when you weren't around and had sex when he was staying in your house? At this point I would just confront her with all the hard evidence you have and make her confess to everything she's done with the hopes of reconciliation, even if you are not going to reconcile, but just hang that as a carrot in front of her to make her tell the truth. I don't know if a real reconciliation is possible. You would have to get the full story of exactly what went on and the assurance that she would never contact him ever again, and I don't see there is a reason for her to have to talk to him. God bless you and stay strong. I have not revealed that I have monitored Snapchat. I just have revealed that I knew she downloaded Snapchat, and I know why people use Snapchat, because it does not save anything. So, she and AP still thinks that I know nothing what all transpired on Snapchat. I have not revealed my source or Snapchat, because I knew they will weave their story. Now, when they feed further lies to their close ones, I have some other evidence that I can reveal before I have to go to Snapchat. I was not soft on X at all. I had him apologize for him using his kids in this, using his kids' names. I also had him confess that he was in this for more physical attention, and I also had him say if he would let Jay know if X and WS slept together. He mentioned that he will do it in his way, much more. After all that, I shared that recording with J first, and H right after. Only thing is, I was not able to do confrontation in person, but I covered all bases that were required to blow up his world. H was out on vacation around July 4th, we spoke after he arrived back from vacation, and he told me that when he reached home, J was in middle of confronting X. I haven't heard from J after all this, but I have left her with enough ways to contact me anytime she needs, and even if X blocks all my contacts for her. Her Snapchat revealed that they did have sex, but WS has not confessed to having sex with X yet. During Snapchat days, they did engage in sexting and phone sex, and WS has left it with, there were some pictures she shared, when she got ready in new dress and such. And no more. I don't want to even reveal all Snapchat monitoring I did, because even after separation is the only thing I'm after. She shows how remorseful she is, but will not say truth, so that hers and X's story stays in life, and maybe it still saves X's marriage. Thank you for the update. It is rather apparent that no matter what your WS tells you, she cannot be trusted. Even after she told you she would have no further contact with X, she went another route to aid him in trying to lie to H and J. You are completely correct that your wife continues to trickle truth you. More went on between them than just some kissing. Your WS had left the marriage and was seeking to be with X, but X was only treating your WS as a side piece and was never going to give her what she wanted. You are so correct that your WS is wanting to keep her foot in both places and will never fully commit to only being with you no matter how much she says she does. You have an empathetic personality where you are so busy worrying about other people that you ignore yourself. You were the person wronged here, so the only thing that matters is what you need for your emotional health. You deserve to be with someone who loves you and only you. You will never have that with your WS. Regarding your children, it would be better to have a two-home family where mom and dad are not always fighting or ignoring each other. To stay in one home, your children will pick up on the anger you feel for your WS, and that in turn can lead to angry feelings in them. Without the truth, they could end up being angry with you because they see you not returning any affection to your WS. Children will understand that their mom wanted to be with someone other than their dad. What they will see is that mom and dad do not like each other. It could cause issues with them later in life when they try to be in relationships. Lastly, X deserves to have his life wrecked. He has willingly accepted the affection your WS was giving him when she should have been giving it to you. He knew what he was doing was wrong, because he is now trying to save his own marriage. You need to give all of the evidence you have to his wife and let her deal with it how she wants to, but she deserves the truth and not what X is going to trickle to her. I don't think WS wanted to be X because both WS and X knew in this life it's not possible for them. I know this for a fact. But still they got this opportunity and chance to be together and they made choice to do whatever they did, plus even after I confronted them first time, they continued, plus yes, WS aided X in trying to lie to H and J. This is what bothers me the most. And with this episode, I don't think I will have someone who will love me and only me. I agree, I do think about others before myself. I should really change this. In fact, I should have changed this yesterday. Regarding children, I already think it has started impacting kids. Kids are always more agitated and frustrated, because, of course, overall environment is like that in the house. I have let Jay know about all that has transpired, and also gave her ways to contact me if she requires more. I'm sure at this point X is trying his best to keep me blocked from getting in contact with Jay. If Jay reaches out to me, I will help her in whatever she needs, she knows this. Thanks much for your note. Meant to post this here, but my mother recently went through a similar situation, father talking to a woman claiming it was a friend but we'd never met her, so the only advice I can give from the kids' standpoint is that yes, it's going to be heavy and difficult and they may carry some of the weight because they'll wonder what they could have done better. Make sure that above all else they know they're loved and that this literally has nothing to do with them. As another commenter mentioned, she didn't think about how her actions would affect others, and I've come to the conclusion that those in marriages who cheat are normally selfish people and will not hesitate to act out again, especially if they don't fully accept the mistake they made and how it affected everyone else. She's upset now because she can't keep things the way they used to be and have her little boyfriend on the side. You owe her no sympathy, but I know your heart will still yearn for her because it was a marriage and you aren't getting divorced because you don't love her anymore. This divorce is coming from a place where you accept that your worth is more than what she gave you credit for. For right now, just know that you're doing what's best for you and the children, otherwise you might end up in a loveless marriage and I promise you, the children will suffer for it. Just some things to point out. She still doesn't respect you. She didn't came clean. I hate this phrase sorry, she was caught, not sorry for what she was doing. What is keeping you from filing for divorce? Even if you don't go through with it, take back your own life and course to set by doing it. Don't let others dictate what you should or shouldn't do. It's your life and you should do what is best for you and the kids. Everybody else can mind their own business. Get separated from your wife. And go minimal contact, only talking about kids stuff and nothing else. Do some physical exercises. It is good for the body and mind. Don't let anybody withhold you from telling the truth to the people you actually care about. It's better that they get the version from you than the manipulated version from your wife. Make sure you let the kids know that you love them. And make sure you spend actual quality time with them. Even when it seems pointless. They are also victims in this ordeal. And lastly, make sure you get in control of your own life again. Not all confrontations are bad, and sometimes you will feel better after actually confronting somebody or yourself. But whatever you do, now is the time to take action, because if you wait, you could lose more than just a few nights of sleep or somebody who is unfaithful to you. Make sure you fight for your children and to have the best life you can have. Even when times seem to be the darkest and there seems no light left in this world, there is always something somewhere that can spark hope. And if we can't hope anymore, what meaning does life have then? And if we don't know what to hope for, then don't look at what you have lost or craved for, but at what you still have and will be able to enjoy. As one who will most likely never be able to become a parent, I can only urge you that you have so much in front of you that is worth fighting for. I can't imagine that you stay passive. Best luck to you, and I hope you'll find happiness in a place where you didn't expect to be able to find it. After everything she did to you, still didn't divorce her? She cheated on you and then gaslighted you and is still lying about the affair. Her well-being or mental health isn't your responsibility now after what she did to you. Wow, a long read, out of my own experience and surviving a war of roses. No matter what you fear, if you don't do it, you will be solely paying the price. Don't fear about your kids, your Phil's health, your family, the world. Follow your own saying, better two houses intact than one house broken. Kids will adapt, keep the drama out of their view, they know this already, but they will adapt. Phil's health, well, let me say it in this way. Affairs survive in the dark. So you keeping it quiet for the sake of others is honorable. But then, did your WS care about the ramification of her own doing? Nope, exactly, and the I don't know why I did what I did cheater 1-on-1 book chapter 1 line doesn't fly. She made a willful choice, or did X threaten her? Exactly, he didn't, so it was willful and intentional. That's what adults do. I'm sorry your cheating wife has put you in this situation. To answer some of your concerns. Staying together for the kids exposes them to a toxic relationship. If your wife cared about the kids, she wouldn't have stepped outside your marriage. Your Phil's health is not your concern. Your cheating spouse should have worried about that before she began her affair. Adultery survives in darkness. Inform anyone and everyone you want to about your wife's infidelity. Your SIL will protect her sister's interest, not yours. Stop using her for a sounding board. You will get better advice on this subreddit. Get a lawyer today. Start the divorce proceedings. Tell your lawyer you want more than 50-50 custody of your children. Tell USTBXW she needs to get a job. Your brother and his wife do not need to interview you and your WS. I don't see any good coming out of this. Good luck. Edit, inform X's spouse about your impending divorce and what that means to her rocky marriage to X. Your STBXW will be available to X for booty calls 24/7. Brother, you should have filed a long time ago. Let me tell you something, those are her sisters. They are not your sisters. They are playing you like a fiddle. Your wife, the other half of your marriage, does not have one duck to give about your marriage. So why do you? Your wife says she'll do anything to save the marriage. Give her two options. Tell her to shove a pineapple up her ass or tell you the truth and you'll stay married. She'll shove that pineapple so far up her ass that old sticker will get stuck to the back of her teeth. She is trickling through you. This is how cheaters work, trickle truth to save their ass. Trickle truth so they don't look like the villain. Hell, my ex trickle-truthed her own lawyer. They can't help it, their playbook doesn't give them any other option. Stop listening to what her family wants. They want her to be your problem, not theirs. They are not on your side at all. Your brother and his wife aren't going to get the why out of her either. The why is because they ducking suck. Plain and simple. Period. Think about your kids and you. That's it. Everything you do from here out should be for your kids and you. I don't know if you have done this yet, but get all your finances in order and get a lawyer. I would give her one chance not to reconcile but to see how you are co-parenting. Tell her you know that this isn't all the truth and make a list of all the things she lied about. Tell her that C has given you a list to try and save his on marriage. And that you personally know that there's more. Then tell her to tell you the truth, and unless everything gets ticked or you're getting a divorce, then divorce anyway. Also STD test. Also remove her. She's not willing to do whatever because she messages him after their final goodbye, and she even deleted those messages. Honestly, they were probably different accounts so they can talk. Thank you for your note. Finances have always been in order, meaning, we keep only some joint money in joint account. My check gets deposited in mine only account, and she never had access to all the accounts I have. Unfortunately, in this situation, she will rely on me to even set up some of her investments accounts in proper way that is beneficial to her or eventually to kids. Yup, I have already told her that our energies are best utilized in developing a strong co-parenting plan instead of having circular discussion when you can't reveal complete truth. They didn't even use diff accounts, they used their own accounts, but later WW blocked AP on FB, so FB now does not display any communication between them. Well, as of now, I'm certain they are not in touch, but, yes, they did connect after WW told me she has cut off everything with AP. Working on narrowing down a lawyer. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.